We are fixing to can some deer meat. We've never done this before, so we're not experts, but a few years ago, Tyler here keyed me in to one of the best things he's ever tasted, canned moose meat.
Yeah, and today we've got a big old Oklahoma white-tailed deer. It's a buck, and we're gonna put it into cans. It's the first time we've done it, like he said. We're excited, let's do this thing.
Canned deer meat, canned venison, or just regular canned meat is the preserved meat of your hunt or harvest that doesn't depend on the electrical grid or a freezer for keeping meat edible. It's also, in my opinion, more palatable than salted meat and more versatile than dehydrated meat or jerky. Canning meat is that process. In doing this, you produce a meal-ready protein source that takes minimal time to prepare, easily stored long-term, and it's actually quite delicious.
There's not a lot of things too specific that you need to can deer meat, but there is one thing. It's a pressure cooker. Otherwise, you're going to need a really good knife. You're going to need some deer meat, of course. You're going to need a cutting board. You need some good jars, some salt, a wooden spoon or two, a propane burner, and some propane.
I'm using wide mouth Kerr and ball pint jars, but you can use quarts as well if you'd like. It's really more about the quantity you're trying to put up and what mason jar size your pressure canner will accommodate. Make sure you've got fresh lids as well. And speaking of pressure canners, I got this one for Christmas and I've been really excited to put it to work. The brand is All American. It's the 921 model, which is a mid-range in size. It holds a large amount of pint jars, but less of the big quarts. It's made of high-quality aluminum, has a built-in pressure gauge, and a special weight that controls the pounds of pressure you're cooking with. My propane burner is some kind of Academy or Bass Pro Special. I do like it because it has an adjustable regulator, so temperature control is a breeze. 5 gallons of propane will get you quite a few canning sessions. This buck is special to me, so I want to treat the meat right. I'm cutting it into 1-inch chunks of venison. This helps the meat pack into the jars better and is a good bite size. Doing it this way ensures a good and tender piece of meat when you get to that eating part.
Now there is a disclaimer that I should probably note about canning meat. You don't want to make yourself sick. The whole purpose of this is to provide something tasty, clean, and safe for your family. But you could end up with a situation where you have something that goes bad. Most of the time, the situation is probably going to be something called botulism. I'm not a person that knows a lot about that, so I'm not going to go into too great detail. But essentially, don't take my word for it. Do your research, do your due diligence, and feed your family something delicious. The kind of basis of that is if it smells bad or it feels weird at all, just throw it away. You're way better off losing a pint of meat than you are losing a family member.
You want to make sure that you clean your jars before you start canning. Hot water and soap works, but you want to make sure the jars are rinsed well. I also heat my lids in a hot water bath, but be sure and don't reuse lids.
And so now it's finally time to start putting the deer meat in the jars. We got 19 jars here. That's what my pressure cooker fits, so let's stuff them.
Packing the jars is where the sizing of your pieces of meat really matters. Too big of chunks and there will be excess space. Too small and your finished product won't have the desired quality. Fill your jars with meat to about 1 inch of headspace. Then pack them down with a wooden spoon. Get all the air pockets out. You may be able to add a little more meat once you get all the meat compacted. Be sure and wipe the rims of the jars with a little vinegar to clean them off. And the very last step before putting on your lids and rings is to add just a little bit of salt.
All right, now we're getting these finger tight on these rings. You don't want to tighten them down too much because it will mess up the situation. Once we got that done, we're going to prep our pressure canner to get this stuff good and preserved. So now on the model of pressure canner that I have, they suggest that you coat the inside rim with a really light layer of oil to make sure that there's a good seal when you put
You prefer
the
to
lid on.
use oils that aren't seed oils, right?
That's right.
Even when you're just...
It doesn't really matter for this, but I don't keep a lot of seed oils around the house, you know. I could use some 10W30, but that would probably be frowned upon. You usually want to keep that away from your food products. But now we're pretty much ready to put the lid on and then get our burner up to heat. Yeah, let's just kind of do the spare tire or the tire thing, you know.
Oh, just in time.
Oh, that's a lot of smoke.
Smoke.
In a minute, once this starts steaming, we're gonna wait for 10 minutes, let it fully get to good temperature, and then we're gonna put this weight on top of this nozzle right here, and we're gonna use the 10, because where we are in the country, you want 10 pounds of pressure. And it's gonna sit on there, and you want it to jingle 2 or 3 times a minute. So we're gonna constantly kind of adjust our fire to make sure we're around 10 pounds of pressure or a little bit over. And this isn't gonna go crazy, but it's gonna kind of sit there and jostle a little bit once it gets up to temp.
Once this comes up to pressure and has rolled steam for 10 minutes, I get to put the weight on, and we're gonna wait for 75 minutes for these pint jars to fully cook and pressurize.
We have reached 0 pressure here. That means it's safe to take the weight off. Ooh, a little bit of steam, a little hot. Get rid of that. We're gonna let that. Man, it smells good, which isn't probably good. I hope it's just the stuff around the cans and we don't have like a big bad break or a leak.
It smells kind of like Alpo.
I like that though. I would eat that. Gonna let that, make sure it's good and depressurized, and then we're gonna start taking these off. The big reveal. I bet it's gonna be steamy.
Mm-hmm. Put your face down there.
That's gonna burn off that beard.
Mm-hmm.
Ready? Ooh,
Not too bad.
that one's still got a. They're still really hot. I think they're gonna like continue to bubble for a very long time inside there. So I probably need to go lay a towel. See, there's a little bit of that. You can tell
Juice.
that one kind of juiced up. Maybe that one needed more tightening, but it probably still worked fine, I would imagine.
Are they sealed now, or do they
Well, when
pop?
they cool off, they're gonna pop.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
But they should really pop, like a lot more than jelly does in a water bath. So I think though, what we should do now is go lay a towel on the counter and then transport these very easily in there and set them down. Ooh, that one's still real bubbly. Like success at all. It might though. I don't think it would. I mean, maybe with the seal, it could get weird because it was spitting out stuff besides water, but I think it's gonna be fine. It's not all of them either, it's just a few. And it might not even
they
be.
all sealed?
No, there's a few that aren't yet.
That one looks like I might not have. That one.
He'll get there though. I think that one hasn't either. But no, just let them cool. We'll be able to try them out tomorrow.
All right.
Our deer meat has finally had time to cool off. So we have, let me count, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14 that worked correctly. We have 3, excuse me, we have 3 that didn't seal. So the way you can tell, of course, is by that popper not popping. These have all gone down. There's a couple reasons why I think this happened. First, I think that we cooked them too hot. You're supposed to kind of keep it around the 10 pounds of pressure mark, and the weight is supposed to wiggle just a little bit every minute. And I think because we're inexperienced at this, we just had the burner too high and ended up overcooking things, which I'm assuming really made the contents of these jars probably pretty volatile. So maybe there's a lot of bubbling and stuff going on within there. I noticed that it seemed like it was some of the ones that were on the outside that were the ones that didn't seal. And what else was there?
There's also a chance that we didn't tighten all these lids as tight as they should have been. I think we definitely didn't tighten them as well as they should have been, because there was a lot of leakage that came up and ended up on top of these lids that we noticed. You could even smell it as it was kind of pressure cooking. So I think that next time, probably screwing those in just a little bit tighter. It's hard sometimes for a big old strong guy like this to not over tighten things, so we tried to, and we kind of
Take it easy.
misadjusted a little bit there. But I think doing that next time and allowing those things to seal up real tight and make a good clean seal will help.
But it doesn't matter, because we got a few guys here. We're just gonna go ahead and eat this today. We're gonna go catfishing, so we're just gonna make a nice lunch and just go ahead and give them the taste test. We didn't season them too much, just the salt. You can always put garlic in here or pepper, or you can just go ahead and can it as a stew with potatoes and carrots if you follow the right process. But my thoughts are, let's just make some meat. You can season it. Always add seasoning. You can't never really take it away, right? So we're gonna open one of these up and actually have the moment of truth.
I'm all about it.
Nice tortilla chip size piece. I'm gonna go no chip the first bite.
Oh, me too then.
That's pretty good.
Mine is real good.
It's very tender.
I didn't expect it to be that salty.
Did you not?
It's not bad salty. I'm just saying, I thought it'd be more bland.
It's kind of the right salty. That's a half teaspoon per pint, and
It's really good.
it's
That
a
would
lot.
be good in just like egg noodles or something like that too. Like we used to put it in Mountain House when the first time I ever ate it. And then when we ate moose, we were putting it in our Mountain House just to go a little bit further, and really good.
It might make a good stroganoff.
For sure.
But it's a lot more moist than I expected it to be. Y'all want to try? All right. If you like what we do, if you're into the old-timey kind of ways, if you like outdoors, hunting and fishing, be sure and subscribe to our channel. We have a lot of stuff there. We're going to be making a lot more videos like this.
Thanks for watching.